Okay, some good news. Well, I guess it's good news for someone that needs it. Okay, I have the MacBook Pro M4 Pro chip. Just picked it up recently. And I installed Windows 11. And I have Doozy working on there with my Icom. And I've also have the Icom software for the 52 Plus and the 705. I had to dig around and find some other drivers to do it. And the only thing left now is the 2730 for me to do. So I'm surprised how well it works. Basically eliminates the need for me to use my Intel. I can put it to use for something else. Okay, I'm going to talk about this unit, just like I did with the other ones, the pros and cons, and let me set up for it. Okay, just to illustrate, I have 12 different windows or spaces. Okay. So it works. Okay, Anthony's going to disconnect my handheld and show you some of the pros and cons. Okay, I'm going to do a screen record just to see if this works. The 6ALY is clear. ALY. Okay, I'm going to talk about the ID-52 next. Okay, let me just disconnect, and I'm just going to quit. Okay. Okay, let me just see if this works. Yeah, just going to see if I can record using my MacBook. And I'm using UTM Windows 11. I had to dig out some older drivers to work, but it works. And let me launch Doozy. You got to go there first. Call sign, everything there. I got to plug in. Confirm. I guess I have to go back up again. There you go. VA6ALY. Okay, we got it working. Now, I'm going to talk about the Icom ID-52 Plus, which is the one I have, and so I have a little bit more knowledge about it. I mean, if you're looking for APRS, there is options. APRS is on this unit, and also BlueDV, I believe, but I'm sure DigiP, TNC, stuff like that, you probably need to get a different radio. Okay. Let me just turn the volume down so we don't get interference. But if you're like me, you're not really into that. I got to turn down the volume. So let me try this again. Okay. Now, that's what I was saying. APRS, TNC, no. The Icom ID-52 Plus doesn't have that. There are options using software like Doozy or BlueDV. It can give you lots more features. I've of course tested Doozy. I haven't yet looked at BlueDV down the road to see if it works and what it provides. These are all that I was interested in at all. It's because of simplex activity. I know digital voice will be a little bit better, quieter background, stuff like that. Then, of course, if you're going to use crossband, you need something like the ID-5100 that supports D-Star. But anyways, it's very hard to find one radio that does it all. So generally speaking, you end up with at least two, and I would say more often 3. If you know a lot of hams, they probably have a dozen. What I like about crossband, and the main reason why I decided to let me just stay with the Icom 52 Plus. Okay, I thought I had the volume turned down. Okay. Is I could walk around with my handheld, whether it be in your home, backyard, RV, camping site, and extend your range so that you keep in contact with a group, or you could even set up for a repeater. A lot of the older generation hams, they want simplicity. They need readability of screen, and with a glance, you have all the info that you want to know, like the frequency or the name of the repeater or what the setup is. So I would say the Icom ID-52 Plus probably has the best setup currently anyways in the Icom line, at least. And I love it. And I found programming was really easy, and grouping and things of that sort. So I'm just wondering where the beep is coming from. Okay. I generally try to turn off my GPS because if someone wants to track you that you don't want to be tracked, like the general public, you want to keep that in mind. Turn off the settings. So even though I'm not a heavy user of D-Star, it's of interest. I like to experiment with, and having 2 D-Star radios makes it easy for me to figure out any issues. In fact, one of the things I was working on is the chunking. I notice when I'm in terminal mode using a handheld, it would auto chunk, and there is a timeout, which I thought had to do with transmission timeout, but apparently it's a setting for chunking, auto chunking. There's an off position up to 30 minutes. And of course, instead of, like for a GPS, as another source, you want to turn off transmit on GPS, otherwise you'll get chunks on that. And also, when you're like auto connection or auto reply, that's something you may also want to turn off, because that will cause a chunking, which can be irritating for some. For me, it's not a problem. It's working fine. But I needed to know where it was coming from. So this is where having 2 D-Stars, you can work on it alone, and then monitor with programs like Doozy. As usual, software report is mostly for Windows, but changes are occurring slowly. I know with Icom, with the ID-52 Plus, I can mount my Icom handheld as a drive on my Mac. Don't even have to use Windows, and as a result, I have access to all the CSV files that I may create, want to put in, and save the ICF files if I ever want to refresh down the road. So, good to know. And fortunately, I now have the capability of using Windows 11 on my MacBook Pro M4 Pro chip. Seems to work fine. So that eliminates a con, I guess. Now, if you don't need D-Star, then you're better off getting a cheaper radio, because D-Star radios tend to be more expensive. And good to know that Kenwood and Icom, they both use D-Star. Apparently Kenwood and Icom, they work together in developing D-Star. So they're both high quality built and have a good reputation. You can link using the Apple Icom software to your phone, to your iPad, to your laptop. However, there could be some issues depending on the OS version. It doesn't seem to be a blue chip issue, but perhaps Apple dropping version support. I think it's fixable. I know on my iPad with iOS 17, works perfect. A little bit more challenging on my phone and my laptop, but I can get it to work, but it's not as quick or as easy. So, and it has, of course, something like the Kenwood group memory display. The scan is fast. Yeah, some people are claiming you can do some out-of-band mods, but I have no interest here. This is one feature with the ID-52 Plus. You can transmit and receive on opposite bands at the same time. It's full duplex. Of course, it doesn't have crossband like the 2730 or the 5100. There's a reflector monitor, whatever it's called, on the Kenwood. Currently, there isn't one on the ID-52 Plus. There is one on the 705. It's called RPT monitor. You can listen to D-Star via internet, but you won't be able to transmit. I tried it a couple times and managed to hear Edmonton 3-4 hours away, talking away. But that's the last time I've used it. There's a proper setup. If you don't do it right, it doesn't seem to want to work. Okay, so keep that in mind. So, you can transmit on VHF and listen on UHF, but if you transmit on VHF and you're listening on VHF, it will say muted, and vice versa. Dual display, you have scope, you have font size, the usual. So for viewing, it's great. If you plan to use it in a wet environment, this unit is waterproof. If you drop it in a lake, hopefully not too deep, and you retrieve it, it will work. Which is why it's important to use Icom batteries and Icom mics. They're designed to maintain that waterproof. And as for battery and audio indicators, there's a battery bar and an icon, and you have a menu that will scroll in numbers for your audio. And another feature this Icom ID-52 has, When you do a near repeater search, you can do a D-star repeater only, or an FM only, or both, which is great when you're mobile and don't know what repeaters are around. And I'm not aware of any battery issues. And the batteries, of course, interchangeable with the Icom 705. So if you have a 705, that's another thing that helps you decide which way you go, depending on what other radios you have. Because I had the 705 and wasn't crazy about APRS and TNC and Digifeeder, the 52 became interesting for me. Again, cons, only cons if the issue that will stop you from buying the unit or enjoying it, and that's true with the Pro. If you're concerned about privacy and you have any of those radios, definitely turn off some of those features. You don't know who is tracking you, among the general public. IAM is not an issue. They value the regulations. There is no cases for them yet. I had to get them customized. I picked up a case online there, and for $3. I think there's like half a dozen for $10. Grabbed it, and surprisingly, it works on my TID radio. It works on my Icom 52, and even though it's closed in and protected, if you got the frequencies locked, and you push on it, you can still transmit. So you have extra protection. I use it for my TID radio when I throw in the back of the truck or RV, whatever. It kind of protects it. In conclusion, like everything else, you don't want to buy a radio and then find out, oh, this is not the feature that I thought I had. It isn't there, or it's not working. So hopefully, if you're shopping around or trying to decide which way to go, that this info was useful for you. If you are an avid APRS user, then an APRS radio will be the right for you. And I still haven't ruled out I think it's the 750 Kenwood. I'm hoping it will work for mobile, but it's hard to tell what the size and the bulk is. Not that I want it, but it'll be a radio to experiment with, and I am in the market for some radio. I'm trying to avoid the 5100, unless they upgrade it. So again, I'm just gonna, I'll show you some videos there quickly on the radio, and then other than that, it would be appreciated if you subscribed, or thumbs up would be nice. Take care and have a nice day. Okay, let's see if I can hold this without too much shaking. Main. You can switch. There's your dual band receive. There's a scope on this. Menu. Memory channel. You have room for 1,000 memories, I believe, and 100 groups, something of that sort. So lots of room. And repeater this. I found it so easy to update, create. Can't complain. And FM radio, that was interesting. I basically downloaded all the FM radio broadcast stations for all of Alberta You have room up to 1,000. And I got it grouped. So according to the cities, obviously there's no radio stations with I's or K's. There you go. I'm in Okotoks. I know what to listen to. So if you are into FM broadcasting, the quality is good because it's wide FM. My hand slowly dropped, huh? Okay, let me start again here. You have a GPS where you can turn it off and on, different options. Transmit mode. I have it off right now. You can send pictures. Oops. If you want. And the scope I haven't really used. Let me. I have to. I probably don't have it turned on yet. But anyways, it gives you the, oh, there it is, some activity. It's very quiet. It's in the morning. I never use it myself, but it's there. You can record messages, I guess. Because you can do auto reply. Repeat time. I'll say 15 seconds just in case. TX monitor. Okay. Oops. I keep hitting the wrong key. Okay, you can stop. Okay. So I want to turn off the scope. It has what you call a quick key. So I can turn off the scope.